Welcome back to Sunrise here on Sky News. Alongside me now, Emily Hunt, who many of you may recognise because Emily's been with us before to tell us her story. She has just been granted a judicial review of the CPS's decision not to prosecute a man who admitted filming Emily while naked and unconscious. Emily, welcome back to Sunrise.
Thank you.
This is an update on the story because let's go back to the beginning where all of this started. What happened to you?
So in May of 2015, I was out to lunch with my dad. Seems like a perfectly normal thing to do. But for me, I then woke up 5 hours later without any idea of where I was or what was happening. Basically, I'd been drugged and raped by a stranger. My dad and I had been sitting at lunch. He'd left to go to the airport, and I have literally no memory of anything that happened after that. The police were called immediately. In theory, I did everything right, but unfortunately, the police bungled the investigation so much so that it was impossible to bring a rape charge against my attacker. And then a full year later, the police sat me down and told me that actually my attacker had not only raped me, but that he had taken a 1 minute and 2 second long video of me naked and unconscious on the hotel bed. And that he had actually told the police in his statement that he knew that he didn't have my permission to take that video.
And that it was going to be for his own personal use.
He told them exactly what he was going to use it for.
And this is where you thought, right, that's not right.
Absolutely.
I want him prosecuted for this.
Absolutely. I immediately got a hold of the CPS and asked them to reconsider their decision to not charge him on that front.
And what happened?
They came back to me and said that in the UK, it is not illegal to video somebody naked without their consent if you can't prove that you did not give them permission to see you naked. So that means your partner, a one-night stand, your husband or wife who's actually going to file for divorce tomorrow can take a video of you naked for their own personal sexual purposes. And you could be standing there saying, no, you may not take that. But according to the CPS, nothing is wrong with that.
Well, you wouldn't let that lie.
Absolutely not. So I actually started working with Parliament in order to try and change the law to make it illegal. And I was working with 5 different parties, meeting with all kinds of people, and really starting to get some traction. And then I got this letter from the government telling me that they could not support my campaign because, in their opinion, what happened to me was already illegal. From that point, I actually filed a new police complaint just on the voyeurism charge.
Yeah, because it is prohibited by the offence of voyeurism.
Exactly. So under the Sexual Offences Act of 2003, this should be covered by voyeurism. So the police did an investigation. They sent the file to the CPS with the recommendation to charge, and the CPS came back again and said, even though the government has weighed in, even though there's been a letter put in to the House of Commons Library,
they still can't help. They still can't do anything.
I don't know that it's can't. I think it's won't.
So you wanted a judicial review that has now been granted. Where do you go from here?
So this is actually really exciting. So what we're doing is my lawyers have put in a request to do a judicial review, which will basically force the Crown prosecutors to look at the law the way everybody else is. And that'll mean that not only could my attacker be charged, but it'll protect all of us. It'll mean that this becomes properly illegal and the CPS will charge people in the future on this.
And what's the reaction you've had to this? Because I remember when this first emerged and so many people were shocked that if somebody films you naked without your permission for their own personal use, I mean, obviously, if they put it on the internet, that's a whole different thing, but for their own personal use and won't delete it, a lot of people were shocked that that couldn't be punishable.
Absolutely. So in my day job, I'm a strategy consultant and a researcher. So I'm me. I had a survey done. 79% of people in the UK already think that this is illegal. And 81% of them want it made illegal immediately and finding out that it's not currently illegal. This is kind of something that everyone can agree on. Why on earth would it be okay to take a video of somebody without their permission to use for sexual purposes? And I honestly think that nobody in our country wants that, and it's certainly not what the people who made the law believe.
OK, well, Emily, you've been granted this judicial review into the CPS. The fight isn't over yet. You'll keep going, and I know you'll come back and update us. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning, Emily Hunt.